Who doesn't want to play Krakens attacking Atlantis? Who doesn't want to lead the Atlanteans into a new age of rebuilding after mean old Posideon took away their city in a flood? Braving the cold north is no mere feat for an Atlantean, for who would be more suited other than those Atlanteans that once used to live in a Mediterranean climate? Or perhaps play a campaign with the Brave Norse, who now are redesigned gods, new technologies, new gods, and we also have so much great content already on the way. This new edition of Age of Mythology feels like a great remaster, including a redefining of what it is to be an Age of Mythology fan. This is the type of game any casual gamer can pick up and they'd stay engrossed playing for hours. And that's great. But now, while there are some things that I would have wanted changes, such as various sound effects, perhaps a return to the old voice acted campaigns, it is suffice to say that you'll be in for hours of replayability. If you've played Age of Mythology in your childhood, then pure nostalgia will hit you when you play this. But now that we have this absolutely excellent edition of Age of Mythology, I want new civilizations, new campaigns. Let's say the Aztecs, the Japanese, the Mayans, the Incans. You can add so much more. I honestly think we are in for a golden age for mythology fans. Mark my words on that, and I can't wait for the future. So let's begin on what I think. It's really what I'm saying here is Age of Mythology is the GOAT. It is the GOAT. Already the original campaigns feel refreshed. It feels that it just doesn't feel like a chore when you're playing, for example, as Atlantis, trying to defend your towns from attack, or having to deal with pirate ships attacking the harbor of Atlantis. In one way, it feels like you're playing Age of Mythology in a miniature dioramic set with the way the maps are designed, now that you can zoom in further. And this was a feature that I really didn't appreciate in the first Age of Mythology game either. And this is also present in Age of Empires 3, but I prefer Age of Mythology for some other reason. Now, there's been changes to the voice acting, and for some people they would prefer the original voice acting that was there, but it was a bit campy, it was a bit nostalgic. I'm in the other camp preferring both, but for those that grew up on this game like it was pure nostalgia, I'm sure you'll be wanting the old voice acting as well. You can even install a mod that restores it, and I have to really say about the mods, the mod user interface is really useful, lets you download mods you like, and I can't wait to see what brilliant campaign mods and campaign custom scenarios that could come in the future as well. And if it's one thing I can say is the graphics of the campaigns looked updated, they look as if we're into a new age, although I would have preferred newer assets for the Egyptians and Greeks, a newer style rather than keeping to the original, but I respect the fact that they prefer to keep, the difficulty, the assets of the old campaigns while giving them updates, changing a few cogs here and there in the machine. Now, if you were to ask me what's the difference between the old campaigns and new ones, not too much, but if you look at it from a gameplay perspective, they do seem similar. Some similarities remain in terms of, attacking your normal bandit camps, getting raided, that all remains. Some similarities remain in some old dialogues, some old voice acting scattered here and there. There could be some differences, I believe, within stories. I haven't gone that deep yet, but I imagine that they still stuck to the original campaign as much as they could. So there's that to take into consideration as well. But the objectives are easier to do in the newer version. I found myself progressing much faster in the main campaign missions than I would have in the original version. The user interface has been improved, so now if you want to advance to a new age, you can set your villagers to collect food, wood, and gold. Although I'm surprised that stone wasn't added in this game as a resource when I feel that it's the most that is needed. So all in all, campaigns have gotten a great update, great redesign. AI feels like it can attack you when needed, can be devastating. I love that there's so many new tech trees. I love the fact that the encyclopedia is vast. So many new god powers have been added. It really feels like the game has had a fresh coat of paint here. And I'll try to cover most of what I think is appropriate for the campaign. I haven't gone full into detail because the game is still in early access, and of course it's releasing September 4th. So all I can say is it really is quite a fantastic update. And if I have any nitpicks, I believe Age of Mythology Retold is a fantastic product, a far superior version of this game. It's far less buggy than the original game, which I believe is outdated at this point. I think there's no doubt in it. What doesn't impress me is that while the graphics have had an obvious update, I was expecting something similar to the tune of Total War meet Age of Empire instead. I was expecting a much more graphical style update like Manor Lords or something that could go beyond, the 2D style of the original Age of Mythology. I also would have wanted more gameplay changes to the way combat was fought, but that's a nitpick. At the same time, the voice acting isn't better or good, it's just decent. I think there were more opportunities to expand upon the cutscenes, make them more better. They seem to be missing music in certain cutscenes while trying to replicate the cutscenes of old. I also think, however, that to remake such an old game that was released years back is still a massive achievement. I would have wanted the Egyptians to maybe have had a more unique build and set rather than remastered assets, but then again, I think Age of Mythology is kind of similar to Age of Empires 3 in a way, having that old style of 3D engine. However, I wouldn't have minded if we had an Age of Mythology game similar to the graphics of Age of Empires 2, but that's more or less a nitpick. But a mode like this would have been very good. And also, there's no photo mode, and there's no way to disable the UI, so I really don't know how they managed to do that. Now, in conclusion, I believe Age of Mythology achieved what it sets out to be: a classic redefinition of the game, rebuilding of the old engine, and I believe many modders that worked on Forgotten Empires have also worked on this game. Have no doubt that this game is made with respect to the original developers, and credit has to be given that they stuck to the roots. That said, an alternate mode of newer graphical styles wouldn't have hurt. They could have defined the story's cutscenes far more with better voice acting in areas and started only with the original campaigns while adding no new campaigns and no new civs, I believe is a bummer. I do hope that in the future we get an expanded variety of civilizations that really bolster the game. And they could have added new campaigns as well, because I can't wait to play the Aztecs, the Japanese, the Indians, the Koreans, and so much more. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think Age of Mythology Retold is for you? Does it really successfully capture everything you were looking for in this game? I will respond to each and every comment, but let's go and see what happens. So don't forget to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Age of Mythology content, and Age of Mythology is the GOAT.